Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Brainscapers. Today we're going to be digging a trench around her landscape bed, and we're going to put in a stone border all the way around their place, and it's going to be put in to be permanent. It's going to be in there pretty good. If a lawnmower hits it or a weed whip or something like that, it's not going to hurt it. We're actually going to dig out the trench. We're going to put concrete in there, rebar, and then mortar the stone. And we'll take you through all those processes. A lot of times on projects like this, we will have to take paint and spray an outline where we're going to dig at. But because this has a more of a defined edge all the way around, we don't have to spray it out. We're just going to dig up to the wooden border edge that they have there now, and then after we get it dug, we'll kind of edge it out a little bit to where that it looks like it flows real smooth. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to dig about 4 inches deep and approximately 8 to 9 inches wide. The stone is approximately 8 inches thick. Then we'll pour concrete in here as we go, and we're going to lay the stone in the concrete. So we'll have a piece of rebar laying in it also, and we'll tie the rebar together. That keeps the stone from separating. Okay, as we do this, we're going to leave this piece of wooden trim that they have up here already. It's going to keep the mulch from falling down in here. And once we start laying the stone down, we'll pull the wooden edge. Then we'll rake the mulch back down to the edge of the stone. Now we've got the trench dug out. We've got it edged pretty smooth around the edge, and most of the wooden edge that she had there before held up. A lot of it fell apart, as you can see, but hopefully we don't get a hard rain and all the mulch gets washed down into our little ditch we have here. This is the other side that's close to the driveway and the sidewalk. We've got it dug out about the same. It's looking pretty good also. Okay, yesterday we got our trench dug out all the way around on both sides. We got our stone and we laid it around the edge of the mulch, just right above the trench. And today we started putting the concrete in our trench, and then we're going to lay the rebar in it, tap it down, and sometimes we'll put the rebar in first, and then we'll start laying the stone. Okay, as you can see here, the trench line comes into a downspout, 4-inch pipe that comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut back here, and we have 2 elbows that we're going to put in. We're going to run it down, then out. And right here is where the sub pump comes out. We have a PVC schedule 40, looks like 2-inch coming out here, maybe 1.5 inches, but it's created a little bit of a hole here. So we're going to cut the grass out here, and we're going to run this pipe into here and make it drain right here. They have rock and so forth here that they put to keep from washing out too much. So that should work out perfect for us. So we're going to go ahead and cut this, cut it out, and install it. Now also, we have our root going here, so we got to cut it out. As always, simple project, something that should be real easy to do. It turns into something complicated, but that's okay. Went and got my saw. We're going to cut this major root out here. Not too bad, huh? Always something. But we've got the problem solved. Okay, we had to change our plans a little bit. Discontinue that. It's dropped down too deep for us to get out at the right elevation over here. So we're just going to connect straight into this. I'm going to put a couple of screws in it to hold it in place, make sure it doesn't go anyplace. Okay, now we'll push it down a little bit. We'll pour the concrete over top of this, and the wall, we'll go over that. Shouldn't be any problem at all. So, as usual, something simple turns into something complicated, but it's going to work out. That patted down really good. Looks like we'll have to trim a little bit of dirt off of that part there. Okay, that part's done. Now this part here, we had stopped the day before here. So what we did is we crisscrossed the rebar. So when we put the concrete in, it'll hold really good. on some of these turns, like this stone right here, I was able to take my hammer, I was able to chisel it down for it to fit for the turn. This one right here is a little bit too long, and I'm afraid I'm going to break the piece if I try to chisel it down. So what I do is I lay it kind of in position, and it's going to take about that much distance. And on the opposite side, I'll cut that side off so it'll slide in. And I'll take my hammer, trim it up a little bit to make it look better. What I use is a diamond tip saw in order to cut it. I'm using a small one here because I don't want to blow the fuse. I have a large one and it pulls too much amp. The wind was blowing the other direction a minute ago. Take my hammer, slightly tap it. I'm going to see how good it fits. I'll trim it up with my hammer. Chip and round it off a little bit. Fit in there pretty good. Do the same way with the next one. So yesterday we got the other side stone laid all the way around, and so we're going to start on this little curve here around this landscape bed. We put the rebar in first. We had to bend it, kind of get it to make sure it fit into the curve that we had. Then we'll start adding the concrete. We got all the concrete laid in there. We usually do about 10-foot sections at a time, and then we'll start laying the stone. As we're putting the concrete in, we have to every now and then pull the rebar up to make sure it's in the center of the concrete and not at the bottom or at the top. Now we've got about 10 feet of concrete put in down around the curve. So we're going to do the same process here as we did on the other side where there was a curve. We'll try to get the pieces to fit the best we can. If they do not fit, then we're going to have to cut them to make them work. And so like here, like we did on the other side, we're going to have to mark this piece here, then take it over and we're going to cut it and then put it back in place. I'll take my brick hammer here and I'll tap the stone that we cut off, and then I'll trim up the corners and the edges of it a little bit to make it fit a little bit better. We'll add a little bit extra concrete here. It was a little bit low. Kind of wiggle it in place. And then we'll just continue the process all the way around. Now that we got all the stone laid and in place, it's set up pretty good. We mixed up some mortar. It's a buff type mortar. It's Flamingo 224 is what it's called. And we're going to take it and we're going to tap it into all the joints all the way around. And we'll get all the joints filled up. And once we get all the joints filled up and it dries a little bit, and we got to let it dry a little bit, we'll come back and we'll start cleaning the stone up. Now the mortar has dried a little bit, so now we're going to take our trowel and we're going to scrape some of the top of it off. Try to get as much as we can off the edge of the stone. Smooth it up a little bit. Then we'll take a wire brush on the edge of the stone. Try to scrape as much as we possibly can off of the stone. Then we'll take a soft broom and we'll run it back and forth and across it to smooth it up to make it look a lot prettier. We'll continue this process all the way around. And then once we get done with this process and the mortar dries pretty good, we will come back with another type of brush, a little bit stiffer one, and we'll use water, and we'll put water on the edge of everything, and we'll take the edge of the stone where we cleaned up the mortar, and we'll brush it down good with water back and forth to get the excess of mortar that's on the stone and get it off. Project is now complete, and I think it turned out pretty good. The stone matched the house pretty nice, I thought. And I hope what we did gave you some good information. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching it. If you would, subscribe please, and give us a thumbs up. And if you got any questions or comments or need any thing answered about what we did, please let us know, because we'd like to answer you and we'd like to reply back. So thank you very much, and have a great day.